It was a few years back, quite a few years back actually, when I bought a brand new patio umbrella. I'm talking about those big ones. You know what I'm talking about, those big umbrellas? I bought one of those patio umbrellas, and it looked great, man. I spent time figuring out which one I wanted to buy for our house, and I picked it had the right colors and the streamline of it. It was all good. It was a great umbrella, man. I was very proud of this umbrella. And I set up in the backyard. I stood back, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, this is the perfect umbrella, man. It was so nice. It was so perfect. Everything fit up. I was like, wow, and it was the perfect umbrella. It really was, for about 24 hours. And if those of you guys were with me at the beginning of this series, I told you about when I tried to build a log cabin as a kid in the woods, and me and my buddy tried to do that, and you know what happened to my log cabin. The same thing. It was good for a few days, and then the storm came through, and we went back there. All those logs were toppled over, and it looked like a hot mess. Well, when I went out there, man, the same thing had happened to this umbrella. It was no longer useful. It had blown across the yard. It was twisted up, folded up, useless, and it was bent up. I was so upset, and I remember I walked out there, I looked at it, and I said, I'm gonna use the S word, so get ready. I went out there, and I looked, and I was like, stupid wind. Now, we all know good and well that it was not the wind's fault, amen? It wasn't even the umbrella's fault. And I know if you're listening to me, you're like, man, Pastor Jake, you have a real problem with this foundation thing. I started the series telling you about the lack of foundation and how it crumbled, and I'm ending it talking about teachers, and I want you to understand the foundation that teachers bring, because if we're not founded in truth, man, nothing else is going to stand. See, it wasn't the umbrella's fault. It wasn't the wind's fault. It was because that umbrella wasn't anchored. It wasn't strong enough to withstand the winds that came against it, amen? And I want you to understand today, that's exactly the value of the teacher gift. The teacher anchors the church. The teacher stabilizes the church. The teacher grounds the people in the church. So when the pressures blow against us, man, we don't get blown away. We don't get pressured away. We don't fall away, because we're anchored. We're solid. Because a church without teachers becomes emotional but unstable.